Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco. Guess what we just did? Are you ready?
Ugh.
It's Safi and Marco dish out on the movies, and we just watched Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Woo! Well, everybody, I guess this was a good movie, but it's really a bullshit movie, and I'm sorry to swear. But I mean, come on, really? We all know by now, after all these years, Michael Myers is some kind of mythical figure who never dies after getting burned, stabbed, shot, thrown in the pit, run over by a truck. I mean, what hasn't happened to him? And then I come to find out in this movie that, well, and rest in peace, Donald Pleasance, and happy birthday too, because I think Marco said today was his birthday,
It is.
and he passed away. I don't know, a few years ago or many years ago, but
God, Safi.
he's a mythical figure just like Michael Myers, so they must come from the same planet because he's alive in this movie, and no, no, and no.
He's still right
He
next to the
would
one.
never survive the blast that was in Halloween 2. Remember? They're in the hospital room. And he's in there too, Michael Myers. And he turns on the ether and he turns on the oxygen. He says, he didn't say this, but like, you're toast and it's over for us, meaning him too, I guess. And that's not the exact words at all, but it's like the gist of it. And he gets his little lighter because he smokes cigarettes or something, and he sets the whole place on, and it exploded. Okay, it exploded, and they were right there by the explosions, like they might as well have been sitting in front of the explosives. And he would never be alive. But he's alive for this movie. He just had to skip one. And that was the last one, which was very good. And if you haven't watched it because you're being a dummy, watch it, okay? Because it's a good break. And we've explained it before. Why is it called Halloween 3 when it has nothing to do with Michael Myers? Because we have explained it. The original person who made the series wanted to make it an anthology series. In other words, it'd be like Twilight Zone or Outer Limits.
And you know what they could have done to make it like a lot better was, instead of making these new piece of shit movies that they made with Bloomhouse, instead of doing that, instead of making all those sequels for a million years, they should have just waited, and they should have made all these other anthology films, and they should have built up like an anticipation of like, okay, we're gonna do a sequel and a return of Michael Myers after this amount of years. Like what they did with Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
How they said,
except not wait as long.
That's
before everybody dies.
I don't mean like that. I mean like in the second season they said that they'll see him in 25 years. And that was literally telling the audience that like we'll see you in 25 years. And so something like that would have been really effective and a lot better because they would have had all this time to make like the perfect sequel. And instead of making like all these bad sequels, they could have just made a couple of really good ones right now. And instead they're doing these like, well, okay, we're not at those yet. We're Halloween 4. So, Safi, should I continue or what?
Go ahead.
So, we just got done with Halloween 3, which was a masterpiece. It's basically like a perfect horror film, and we went straight from that to this. And the fanboys got what they wanted. They said, we won't watch a Halloween movie unless it has Michael Myers in it.
Well, they got them all right.
They got 'em.
Spades.
They got their wish. Be careful what you wish for, because you ruin everything, Halloween fanboys. So this movie is just, to me, what I did was I watched this movie once as a kid, and then once a couple of years ago. I thought it was boring, and I still think it is kind of boring. But now, my opinion is that it's like a fan film, because it just has so many improbable things in it. It has so much like fantasy in it, and it's just really embarrassing, like how the Halloween series went from a really intelligent and original movie in Halloween 3 to this crappy movie that you put in the bargain bin, where you have this girl named what's that girl's name? The main girl.
I don't even know. I don't know what her name is.
Tina.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea. She looks like a middle-aged woman.
Yeah, no. I thought she looked like a teenager. So it's kind of flip-flop, because in the first one, I thought Lori looked like an old woman, and you thought she looked like a teen, and now I think that she looks like a teenager, and you think she looks older. That's pretty funny.
It doesn't really matter what she looks like, because
it does, because
she survived in the movie, and
helps.
she was good because
it adds to the believability to the film if she looks like a teenager or not.
well, that's true, but she survives, and she's one of the few people who do.
She's pretty bad. I mean,
she does some stupid stuff.
She's the most uninteresting. And let me tell you something. This is what I mean when I say I don't like final girls. Because this is what you get. You get this boring, uninteresting, prudish biatch who, all she cares about is her stupid boyfriend. She's a bratty biatch, and she doesn't care at all about Jamie, the little girl who we got an autograph from at a convention a couple of years ago. She doesn't care anything about her. She's terrible, and she's just like the worst. And she survives, because she doesn't have sex, and because she doesn't smoke. Basically, like they show the other characters having sex, and it's like, oh, okay, they're gonna die, but then this bland biatch is gonna live. Trash. And there are just so many trash things about this movie like that. Like they a typical fan film moment type of moment, where you have Dr. Loomis, and he goes to this gas station at the exact time when Michael is at the gas station, and they have a little confrontation. And it's like, what the hell is this? Like, they meet this early in the movie, and it's like this like weird, like, it's just, and Michael doesn't talk. He doesn't say anything. He just stands there like a statue.
Right. And then the statue moves.
Yeah, it moves so fast that when he shoots him straight ahead, he doesn't hit him. Oh my god.
Well, I liked the movie. It kept you on the edge of your seat.
It's mediocre.
And especially when I usually fall asleep or have trouble staying awake. Now, doing this, I'm having trouble staying awake, and I have chores to do, so I still have to, I'm thinking about the movie, and I did like it, like I said, but there are two things, and I was sitting here when Mark was talking, thinking about it more. There are two things I absolutely do not like. The dog got killed, and another dog, I think, was killed in the second one. The
first
German,
one.
Oh, okay, it was German Shepherd. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Dogs don't have anything, no pet has anything, shouldn't even be a part of it.
It was kind of pointless.
I still don't like it.
It's kind of a waste of time to kill the dog.
I know. Because that dog would never have done anything. It was a very friendly, Sweet dog. And I know it really didn't happen. Dog didn't get hurt, but I still don't like it.
I mean, just in terms of the kills in this movie, the kills in this movie were trash too. The kills were very mediocre garbage. They were shot in such a way to where they looked very fake and very unbelievable. And most of the time, it was just showing the kills after they had already happened. And the best kill, though, was definitely the shotgun through the wall, through the girl's chest. Like, that was a fantastic kill. And it actually fixed the problem of the first one's kill, where he stabs Bob through the wall with the little tiny kitchen knife. So it actually, that was the best kill of the movie. But the kills from this movie, they were significantly downgraded from part 3, Season of the Witch, and part 2 and part 1. This one has the worst kills so far. It has the worst Michael Myers so far. I mean, you want to talk about bad. Look at that guy's mask.
Oh, the mask was... Oh, yeah. That was another thing. I'm sorry. The mask was horrible.
He had a perfect mask, like, already. He had this, like bandages all over his face.
Yeah, because he was... Probably because he was burned in that explosion.
And the bandages look cool. Like,
they were cool. They were perfectly... Because he would be dressed every day. They would change the bandages.
It looked like a cool mask that he could wear. Like, that they should have just had that be the mask. But of course they couldn't do that because he had to wear the
traditional mask.
The cheap mask that he found in the gas station randomly. So, Safi, continue.
Okay, well, and the other horrible thing is what happens to the little girl in the end. Does she get killed? No, absolutely not. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. But because she's got PTSD or something now, after running away from this killer, and I mean really getting a close shave, and with her, but also with the girl, the older girl she's with. I mean, it was close. She turns into a serial killer. She kills the woman of the mother of the girl in the house. She's a foster child, right? She kills the mother of the house who's drawing a bath for her. She stabs her. We don't see it. We don't know it until she comes out of the room holding a knife, and there's blood, and you saw that the mother drawing the bath, and it looks really nice. You know, the nice clean bathtub, hot water, towels. It just looked really nice. And then the girl comes out, and Dr. Loomis he's survived again. He comes up the stairs, and he was just pushed out of school. I don't think it was any
by
Michael Myers. Just pushed out of the way, which is interesting. Why didn't he kill him? Didn't do it. And because they're both from the same planet. Like I said, they're just from the opposite sides of the fence. And anyway, he starts coming up the stairs. The little girl walks out, and the other girl, the big girl, comes up there, and they're standing there. And then the little girl walks out of the room. She's all bloody all over her face with the mask on, and she's holding the knife like she just stabbed the one. And the Dr. Loomis is horrified. No. And everybody joins him. The father, there's a sheriff, and they're all looking at the little girl, and she's turned into Michael Myers.
Stupid.
Not that he's taken over her body, but that she's another Michael Myers. She's Michael McKellar.
Oh.
Michaela Myers. And I just think that's the most asinine thing I've ever seen. She's going to turn into a serial killer just because she was chased all over Hell's Half Acre by this guy, and he was in her room in her closet, pawing through her little shoebox of mementos.
She was more effective before he came to the town because of the bullies and the nightmares. Like, she wasn't really that, she didn't really have as much trouble when he actually was there in town as she did before then.
Yes, and I thought that was dumb. And
Yeah,
I don't like the dog kill.
I thought that twist was really stupid and rushed, and
Yeah,
it didn't
it's
make
like,
any
oh,
sense.
let's just throw this in. It'll be like, we'll add the little kicker.
Fanboys love that one.
I would have just had her survive.
It's their favorite part of the movie. They're like, oh my god, that twist, it's so deep because it's like Michael and her, like, it's like she became, it's like, it's really
And it
deep.
makes no sense. And
It's a deep ending.
Stupid.
For thinkers, like
No,
us
it's
fanboys.
not for anybody who has half a brain.
What I
Anyway.
liked about the movie was that it kind of made the town more of a town.
Yeah.
Because in the first and second movie, it really didn't feel like a town at all. Like, it just...
No, it's like in a little outlier suburb.
The only part where it kind of felt like a town a little bit was in the second one at the beginning, where he was going around in the houses, which I thought was really, really cool. Like, that kind of felt like a little bit of a town feel to it, but it really did not feel like a town at all. and in the fourth one, you know, it really does feel like a small town, right, Safi?
Yeah.
You got these weirdos who want to hit on the girl, and they're like these teenage weirdos, and you got like the slutty slut whose father is a sheriff, and you have the rednecks, the beer bellies.
They call them the beer belly.
And so it was a really fleshed out town, and that was the best part of the movie, because they said that the town would never be the same, and I thought it was hilarious because the town literally didn't even care that it ever happened in this movie. Like, that was an issue, but I did like how they made an attempt to just show the town fully and to have like more of the town instead of just this tiny little focused environment. And I don't know if Safi's awake or not. She looks like she fell asleep. So I'll just continue. There were some really good... sorry, everybody. Safi just ruined the video, so I had to start another one, of course. So, there were some good parts in this movie. I thought that there were some, you know, good scenes here and there. Like, there was a scene near the end where it's just the bland white bread girl driving Jamie with Michael on the top of the truck, and I thought that was a good scene, and it was like a pretty good climactic scene, but then like I'll just say this, the final showdown was atrocious, where you have Michael in this like random rundown graveyard, and you have all these police, and they just shoot him over and over again, and just the way that he looks, like he just looks like he just looks so stupid and goofy, like a cartoon character, and he's like flopping around with his arms, and he's clutching onto the knife that, you know, the fanboys, you know, you can't make a Halloween movie unless Michael Myers uses a knife. You know, so he has to have the kitchen knife clutched in his hand, like he just will not let go of the kitchen knife. So I thought that scene was terrible, and to me that was actually the worst part of the movie, because they've shown in the previous movies that he can get shot and it doesn't kill him. So why would it kill him now? Like, what can kill him? It's just it's so pointless and meaningless. And you know, you have Dr. Loomis, we didn't really talk about it, but Dr. Loomis is really good in this movie once again, but it's really just because of the actor. It's not really because of the character. You know, there really isn't any development to his character at all. Like, his character is just the same old Loomis, that they even treat him like it. And so I thought that that was kind of trash too. You know, this movie is just a fan film, essentially. That's why there's a lot of people who like it nowadays. They all love it because it's a fan film, essentially. It's a, you know, it's a movie just entirely made out of fan service moments. And, you know, that can be good if it's a fan film you watch on YouTube. But this is supposed to be a professional Halloween film. And I really do not think that it was well done. So, Safi, what would you rate it? Do you have any other things to say?
No, I don't think so. I just I enjoyed the movie, but there were some things I took exception to. I already said what they were, and I still, it's, if I were, I don't think they needed to re-up the movie. In other words, I think they should have just not, I think they should have just stopped and maybe had some kind of different type of sequel to it. I don't know. It's hard for me to think this late. It's late for me since I wake up so early. But anyway, I give it, you know, one meal that I have at lunchtime a couple times a week, and it's just because it's everything I want because I eat it.
Oh.
I have trouble eating anything because I just don't like the taste, or it bothers me in some way. It makes me sick. It's too spicy, or I don't know, like shrimp, for example. If it's old by one day, it just totally makes me sick. And so, and I like the taste. I mean, but we're getting off topic. So I'm just going to rate it my, because I had it today because it was very late and I was starving, and I can't stand eating hamburgers out. I can't, like McDonald's or any of it. I really don't like it at all. It's always cold. And I had Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I just get a two-piece meal, extra crispy. So it's like a thigh and a leg, and it's extra crispy, and then I eat the mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't eat the biscuit because I make biscuits, and they're actually pretty comparable, but not quite. But I don't like bread that much anymore. And it has cookie. The cookie's gross. I don't eat the cookie. So the only thing I eat there's 2 pieces of chicken. It's like $5, a little over $5, $5.50, and I eat the mashed potatoes and gravy, and I get a drink. They screwed up the drink because the top wasn't right and fell off, but I mean, it's a nice enough size of a drink. I get Pepsi, usually, so it's everything that I want. So if you look at it as a fan person, like Marco was talking about, it had everything they wanted.
Are you a Halloween fanboy, though, Safi?
No, I would have preferred that if they were going to make it, but I don't think they made it clear. I think if they wanted to just have a series about Michael Myers, that too, after they did the second one, they should have left it off there. And like you said, then they do this third one, which was it was a horror movie that revolves around the date of Halloween, and then they would have done a story a year, and they could have done all kinds of stuff. Or
they could have done some really cool stories.
They could have done all kinds of things, and it would always take place on Halloween because a lot of people like Halloween. I mean, they just like the holiday. I mean, I have been already selling stuff to do with Halloween. I started like a month ago.
And there aren't many movies that take place on Halloween.
No, there's not.
And so this series could have actually like done something good by making these stories that take place on Halloween, But instead, now it's literally just
they've trashed it. They've ruined it.
it's associated with Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's the series. It's just all been, and that wasn't the intention.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because they could have made that. They could have made two different things, and separated them, and they had a great separation point. They had two.
They could have
the
done
end
a
of
spin-off.
2, and then they had the beginning of 3. And they could have made the separation there, and they could have changed the name somehow, and so that would even have further separated it. And instead, in fact, I almost think that may not have worked because they bring back 4, and there's so many ridiculous. Well, the ridiculous thing is that Dr. Loomis is alive, and it's impossible. And all that, it's like it never happened.
We'll talk about, and the reason why that's important is because there's a certain Halloween movie coming up where everyone complains about a certain character being alive still, and the explanation, but it's hilarious because those same people completely give a pass to this bullshit. And now let me explain what a fanboy is. A fanboy is someone who won't criticize anything to do with a certain property. So you see that like with these retarded Star Wars fans who just love everything Disney Star Wars, and they love The Last Jedi, they love feminism, they love all this horrible shit, and it's such an abomination to the Star Wars universe, but they just love it simply because it's Star Wars. And Halloween fanboys, they literally just love stuff because it's Michael Myers, it's Dr. Loomis, it's Laurie. But the difference is, though, is that with these fanboys, their expectations change. And so, because they're such hypocrites, that each time it's like it's never the right movie. Because they literally just want the first movie replicated over and over and over again. And they're never satisfied because of that. But they love the new ones because the new ones basically rip off everything and basically mash it all together like baby food.
I don't know. I really shudder to think how they could be happy with themselves.
Oh, we're not on the new ones yet, but
I know that, but I mean, I just saw that latest one, and last year.
Oh,
no, I don't. Oh yeah, I did see the trailer for this one coming up, and they're crap. I mean, I just don't see how anybody could like that.
It's so embarrassing.
And I mean, if you think about just even watching this for the return of Michael Myers, that's such a really, if you compare it like to that movie that came out right before this one that's coming out,
Halloween 2018.
It's that Halloween 2018 is crap.
Oh, but it
horrible.
It shows all the moments from the sequels.
It's
Safi.
not even a fan person. It's a nobody's person. It's a horrible, and it just because the quality of these earlier ones is a lot more superior, and they just should have kept it, cut it off. If they couldn't do what I just said and what the guy originally intended, then they should have just stopped.
To be fair with these new ones, what happened was you had a company that is ruining horror, and they just ruin everything to do with horror, and they make all these fake horror movies. They bought the franchise, and so they have the rights temporarily to this franchise. And so it's really because a new company has it. And this new company is basically the equivalent of Silver Shamrock.
Nah.
And I already said that the fanboys are Silver Shamrock, but this company is in conjunction with those fanboys. So, and what I was getting at was, I am a Halloween fan, and I am a true fan. And it's one of the few series where I will proudly gatekeep it and say, you're not a real Halloween fan, you're a fanboy. Because I've seen the series ever since I was like 2, and I know who's a Halloween fan and who isn't. And I know what should be done with the series and what shouldn't be done. And this movie was just as bad as 2018 because this movie was literally just giving in to the fanboys. Like, remember when they let that 4-hour piece of shit Justice League movie get made that we watched this year? Remember that?
No, I'm sorry.
You don't remember the 4-hour Justice League movie we watched?
Oh, God.
Yeah. That was that company giving in to the demands of these fanboys.
Oh.
That's what this is. This is giving in to the demands of spoiled brats who aren't getting what they want, so they throw a temper tantrum. And so what I'm going to rate it is, I'm, in the school cafeteria, because I rated the first one a school cafeteria cheeseburger meal. Well, sometimes they didn't have any more cheeseburgers. They only had bacon cheeseburgers. And some days they wouldn't give you any french fries because they never explained why. Some days they wouldn't have french fries. And so your meal would literally just be a little tiny milk, a bacon cheeseburger, and maybe a pudding or something, or like an applesauce cup or something. That's it. But at least you get the cheeseburger again. So that's this movie. It is a terribly unsatisfying mess of a meal. It leaves so much to be desired. But at least you're getting the cheeseburger again, like the first one, because we want to have a cheeseburger. Let's not have spaghetti. Let's not have bratwursts. Let's not have hot dogs, chili dogs, club sandwiches, tomato soup. Let's just keep on eating cheeseburgers over and over again until we puke. So, Safi,
Yes?
what should people do?
Please hit the like button and press subscribe. We love new subscribers. And make a comment if you'd like. What did you think about this movie? Did you like to see the little girl turn into a serial killer?
Oh,
Just because she'd been running from one all day long, she automatically turns into one?
And by all day, it's really like an hour.
Oh.
In real time. Like, seriously, it was literally just like an hour or 2 of her running.
Well, it seems like all day to me, but she was getting taunted at school, and she was getting taunted.
That's always going to happen, though. That's like a lifelong thing.
Well, that's part of it, though, of her day. So, and then, he's in a room, and she sees him in there, and they think, I don't know, but I'm getting tired. I don't want to lose my train of limited thinking.
Yes, if you guys think that her normal reviews are bad, when she's up this late, they really get bad. So,
but anyway, just give your opinion. What did you think? Did you like that, and why did you? I want to know, because I think it's terrible that they would bring that she was such a cute little girl, and they would turn her into a serial killer. So that's it, everybody. And what are we going to be doing next, Marco, so we can let them know what's happening?
Well, we'll be doing Halloween 5 on Friday.
Okay, and also we have the American Horror Story.
Well, we don't know if the people who watch these reviews will watch those other videos.
Yeah, but if they want to look out for other videos that we do because they're interested in the channel,
then they should just subscribe to the channel and then they'll pop up.
Well, okay, I'll just say this. We have other projects in the mix. So stay tuned. Okay, everybody?
Goodbye.
Bye.